Talaulikar, tackling that first point, which is the safety hurdle, very, very important point. The efficacy studies are one thing, but, as the recent example that Dr. Parikh cited shows that efficacy studies are one thing. We in the public who are not medical experts may be thinking efficacy study 90%, 94%, yay, fantastic, hurrah. But, there is no celebration yet in the medical community, is there? That's a very important point. There is still a distance to go before this is a reasonably reliable vaccine.
Yes, Shiv. I agree with both of you there in the sense that the safety is still to be determined. Yes, the good bit of it is that the results so far have been quite reassuring. They're not fully out there. We still need more data and the publications to come out.
Yeah.
But whatever we've seen so far has been pretty reassuring. I was part of the trial, the Oxford vaccine trial. And actually, whenever we've looked at the side effects that people had so far within the small time of 6 months, none of the individuals have reported any major side effect. There haven't been major issues, neurological complications, nothing. Now, these are early data and these are trial data. So it's not that all these things that you see in the trials actually translate to community. You might see that the effectiveness is less and you might see some complications or side effects when the vaccine doses are actually rolled out in the community. You're talking about giving this medicine to billions of people. So you've got to be sure that your safety is absolutely first.
Yes.
But I must say the positive news here so far with the limits of whatever data we have is that so far most of these vaccines seem to be doing a good job. They're not causing any major problems or major side effects. So it's reassuring. As we progress over the next few months or next 6 months or a year, the more we actually get experience from these vaccines on the ground, the more we will learn. And that's how we adjust. We kind of decide which one vaccine, which may be the best one or which has the least side effect.
Yes.
So far, so good.
Dr. Amitesh Anand, since you're in the United States as well, where these two vaccine candidates, very promising vaccine candidates, are making pretty steady progress, Moderna and Pfizer. My question to you is, and this is something that's shared by a lot of people I speak to, given the huge, this is, and not for a moment is this to suggest that those involved are not professionals and there aren't checks and balances to make sure that vaccine development is happening with all the safety checks and balances and will not be released without them. Given this huge global pressure and demand and urgency for this vaccine, is there a possibility at all? Is there any possibility, Dr. Amitesh Anand, that safety will in some way or the other be given some kind of a shortcut just to get the vaccine out? Is there any risk of that?
I hope not. I'm glad that you asked that question. One thing I would like to start with is that it's not that anybody is withholding the information of safety.
Yeah.
The challenge is that we have information of only few months, maybe 6 months or so. So we have safety data for that time duration. We have safety data for 6 months or so. And good thing is that there has not been seen any adverse effect in that short term. But as one of my fellow panelists mentioned, that we also should worry about or should be careful about what is the long-term effect. But then, unfortunately, for that, we'll have to wait and we'll have to see that all those volunteers, are they developing any sort of complication, any sort of side effect. So that's that. And then, as you rightly mentioned, that right now, all these informations are interim report. These have been provided by some independent bodies.
Yes.
The good thing is that based on this information is nobody's gonna use this vaccine. All these data has to go through US FDA. And then hopefully, I really hope that all this data is published and made available for scientific community to review it, what we call as peer review.
Yes.
So that way we'll be getting sure about the safety and efficacy of the vaccines.
Okay.
Another thing that I would like to highlight is that right now, the way we are talking about the efficacy is in terms of percentage. It's really not the correct way of talking about vaccine success. The reason is we have a very small number. Like in the case of Moderna, we have 95 candidates who are volunteers who actually developed the COVID symptom. Out of those 95, 90 are the one where placebo was given. which means they were not actually given the vaccine.
The vaccine, yeah.
Based on that, if you simply divide by 90 by 95, they come to the number of 94 point something something. So that's not the right way of representation. Talk about the number, don't talk about just the percentage. Because in many cases, like take the example of Sputnik 5, they have only 20 volunteer that has developed the disease. And based on those 20 cases, they are talking about number as high as 90 or more than that.
Basically, you're saying it sounds better if you talk in percentages, but it's
Exactly.
nowhere near as reassuring, you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I would love to see more number. In fact, the US FDA has this minimum number of 150 plus positive cases to be analyzed. Then only they even look at your data and they think about authorization it for even emergency use.
Yeah.